Cars could be paralyzed. Airplanes could fall from the sky, and power would vanish in a flash. All this and more devastation could happen if the U.S. is hit with an electromagnetic pulse bomb.
Well, analysts warn such a strike is possible, perhaps even likely. Gary Lane explains what these attacks are and how the U.S. should be preparing for them.
An electromagnetic pulse bomb, or EMP, is a nuclear weapon designed to explode high up in the atmosphere and knock out a country's electrical power grid.
Hits the Earth's surface, feeds into our electrical wiring. It starts shorting out the entire power grid. If they launch 3 missiles, eastern, central, western United States, it would shut our grid down permanently.
Historian Dr. William Forstchen is a New York Times best-selling author and expert on EMPs. His new novel is 5 Years After, a political thriller about the aftermath of such an attack. Most people assume Russia or China would be the countries most likely to target the U.S. with an EMP. However, Forstchen believes North Korea is the more likely culprit. Nuclear weapons expert the late Peter Pry agreed. 5 years before his death in 2022, Pry warned that Kim Jong-un's launch of a high-altitude ballistic missile was a test of North Korea's EMP capabilities against the United States.
The Japanese and South Korean military both described it as practicing for an EMP attack because it was burst on ascent deliberately by the North Koreans when it was at an altitude of about 71 kilometers.
The higher the altitude of the missile, the wider the area of destruction. Pry explained how it would devastate an unprepared United States of America.
Cars would be paralyzed. Airplanes could fall out of the sky. You'd have natural gas pipeline explosions, nuclear reactor overloads. And worst of all, if you had a protracted blackout, it would be a serious threat to the survival of the American people.
No electricity means no pumps to provide enough water needed to irrigate and grow crops. And since America only has a 30-day reserve food supply, 90% of the population would likely die within 1 to 2 years of the EMP attack. So what can be done to protect the nation? Recent legislation sets aside $13 billion to upgrade the U.S. energy grid. But finding the needed replacement parts may be difficult.
All those spare parts we need, the big transformers, where do you think they're made? China. We farmed out all the components of our electrical grid decades ago.
Forstchen says history proves that societies always use the weapons they develop. He warns the United States cannot sit back and assume an EMP attack will never happen. Why do you think this is likely even imminent?
Sooner or later, somebody's going to try to do this. I'm not saying it's going to happen tomorrow, but at some point it will happen.
Shalom. Call law, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles at Great Millstone. Peace and blessing salutations to the sincere believers, the hopefully elected Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai. So it's the brothers Azariah back with another lesson through the Spirit, going into the perilous times that we are living in the midst of in these last days. And in the news, they talking about blackouts. Now, remember a couple years ago when President Joe Biden alluded to this so-called dark winter. Now, it didn't happen in 2021. It didn't happen in 2022. But this may very well be the year that this dark winter, which Joe Biden spoke of, may come to pass. And I want to read this here in 2 Timothy 3:1. This know also that in the last days perilous times shall come. When you go into that word perilous, it goes into dangerous. Okay, it goes into uncertainty. Okay, so we are in the midst of danger and uncertainty. In this land, America, Babylon the Great, we always bring it out that this place ain't got that much longer left. You know, what you're living through is the fall of an empire. This is what it looks like. The people are divided against one another. The rulers are divided. You know, the nations of the earth are divided. And this is ultimately all to bring about, to manifest the end of this wicked kingdom, to bring this current age to an end, and to bring about the righteous rulership of Yahweh, why Yahweh Shai upon the planet Earth. So this is why you have all these crazy things happening all over the earth and in the news. It's not for no reason. It's not a coincidence. It's not global warming, as the mainstream media narrative is telling you. See, they're not going to come out and tell you the real reason behind why all these things are going on, because if they tell you the truth, then that's going to lead a lot of people to seek repentance, and they don't want that. And ultimately the Lord don't want that. All right, the Lord only wants those that are his, and those that are his are the Israelites, mainly. Speaking of right now, the elect, okay, the 1/3 remnant of the Israelites that will repent, will seek to come back unto the Lord and abstain from wickedness and come out of this world. See, that's who the Lord is calling. That's who the Lord wants. But in the midst of all these calamities and perils that are going to come upon the earth, there's going to be many casualties. Many people are going to be made afraid. We're living in a time of, once again, great uncertainty. See, right now, people are in their peace and safety. They think they have their comfort. They have their good paying job. They can go to and fro as they please, but they know not that in a very short time to come, all these comforts in life are going to be taken away. And that's ultimately because of what? Let me get this here in 2nd Esdras 8 in verse 50. For many great miseries shall be done to them that in the latter time, we are in the latter times, we are in the last days, clearly, shall dwell in the world, because they have walked in great pride. Now, why are these miseries going to come upon people? Well, the scripture says because the people have walked in great pride. And pride is rebellion against the Lord. Okay, pride is the rebellion against the commandments, uplifting the creature above the creator. And this is what these people do. People worship themselves in these days. People speak ill blasphemies against the Most High. People speak ill blasphemies against those that seek righteousness and that serve the Most High. People say and live as if there is no God, but see, what they're about to find out is that there is a power. Okay, there is only one true and living God that rules over the heavens and the earth, and his name is Yahweh, in the name by Hashem of his son, Yahweh Shai, whom the world calls Jesus Christ. So in these people's pride and in their comfort, okay, they're going to be taken. They're going to be destroyed. All right. Proverbs 16 and 18, pride goeth before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall. And pride is one of the things that the Most High hates. Okay, the Most High hates a proud look. So the proud look on all these people's faces, their proud mindset, their rebellious mindset, all that is about to be silenced. Okay, all that is about to be brought to an end by the calamities that are going to come upon the earth. Let me get this one. 1 Thessalonians 5 and 3. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them as travail upon the woman with child, and they shall not escape. And this blackout, this goes into sudden destruction, because right now people don't know that a blackout is coming. Okay, people don't believe that a blackout is coming, but in fact, the Most High is going to bring this darkness upon the land. You see, because number one, this truth is being permeated throughout the planet Earth, and is galvanizing many people to know the truth and to also seek repentance, which again, the devil don't want. See, he wants you to stay in darkness until the very day that judgment comes, so you yourself, along with him, can be condemned. All right. But right now, people are in their comfort. They're in their leisure. They don't know. They don't consider. Okay, for all the plagues that are going on in the planet Earth, people still believe as if, the world would continue on. The show must continue. But once again, the Most High is about to bring an end to that. So getting into this blackout, which many are forecasting. All right. Let me get this. Rewind. All right, let's check this video out real quick.
A new report warns more than half of the U.S. could face dangerous blackouts and outages this winter. Regulators from the North American Electric Reliability Corporation say the nation's power grid is not up to the challenge of rapidly rising energy demands amid increasingly severe winter storms and extreme cold. The strain could cause the system to snap, setting parts of the country up for a repeat of last year's energy emergencies. Joining us now is Jim Matheson, the CEO of the National Rural Electric Cooperative Association, representing 900 local electricity providers. He is also a former member of Congress, having served in the U.S. House as a Democrat from Utah from 2001 to 2015. Jim, great to have you. What are some of the factors that have contributed to the current lack of energy resources and preparedness?
Well, the biggest factor is we're using more and more electricity as a country. Think of all the devices we all use every day now, cloud computing, AI, that's all using more and more electricity. At the same time, we haven't been.
And what he's going into is really half truth because, there are many new technologies being utilized today that do use more power. But the half truth about it is that, I'll also say that this American power grid is vastly outdated. You know what I'm saying? It's not up to speed with what they're trying to do as far as technology. But the half truth about it is that they want this blackout to happen. All right. They want darkness to envelop the land because we're in the midst of a great reset. And you think about it, you have a computer or a game system, right? When it starts acting up, when it starts behaving strangely, you have to do what? A hard reset. Okay, so these devils that are in power, they're going to literally hard reset the whole grid. So the internet is going to be shut down. Social media going to be shut down. People's phones are not going to be operating. Remember not years ago, but months ago, I believe during the summer, when governors were given satellite phones. Now, why was they given satellite phones? Think about that. Why was they giving satellite phones? Brothers did lessons about it at the time, but we already know why they was giving satellite phones, because there is going to be darkness in the land. Okay, there is going to be multiple blackouts that is going to envelop America. And in the midst of these blackouts, what's going to happen? Chaos is going to ensue. People are not going to be able to communicate with their loved ones. The only ones who are going to be able to communicate are the higher officials, because they're going to have phones they can connect to satellites to which they can find out what's going on in different parts of the country and implement measures to subdue and quell rebellions that will be happening. Okay, to subdue the chaos, which that goes into what? Martial law. So see, these devils, okay, the scriptures tell us to never be ignorant of Satan's devices, and the Spirit has revealed unto the Lord's servants, the prophets, what this man Esau Edom is about to bring upon the earth. All right. And what he's about to bring is nothing but wickedness. All right. Many people are going to perish. OK, it's going to be a purge like scenario in these streets. And as we continue to say, if you are an Israelite and you have not repented unto Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, come out of this world, abstain from evil, try to the best of your ability to keep the law, statutes, and commandments, those that you can keep, then you will be consumed in these calamities that are going to come upon the earth. It ain't no doubt about it. So we know that America in the scriptures is known as spiritual Egypt. All right. Now, what happened in ancient Egypt? Well, darkness also enveloped the land. Okay, this is the book of Exodus chapter 10. And I'll start at verse 21. And the Lord said unto Moses, stretch out thine hand toward heaven, that there may be darkness over the land of Egypt, even darkness which may be felt. So the Lord instructed Moses to bring a severe darkness over the land. Okay, even a darkness that may be felt. So when the Lord brought that darkness upon the land of ancient Egypt, the darkness to those people was like a blanket. All right. They could feel the darkness upon them. Now, you got to imagine how fearful that them people was at that time. They couldn't see nothing. And it's not just like it was just a darkness. No, this was a pitch black darkness. Like you was inside a room and it's zero light coming in. Like you can't even see your hand in front of your face type dark. All right. No moonlight, no sunlight, nothing. Just pitch black darkness. Verse 22. And Moses stretched forth his hand toward heaven, and there was a thick darkness in all the land of Egypt 3 days. They saw not one another, neither rose any from his place for 3 days. But all the children of Israel had light in their dwellings. Now, the Lord did this for what? The controversy of Zion, for his people to be freed out of their captivity in ancient Egypt. And of course, we know that the Lord brought several plagues upon that land because Pharaoh would not let the children of Israel go. And the Lord hardened his heart. Now, who is the modern day Pharaoh? Well, the modern day Pharaoh is Esau Edom, the so-called white man. All right. He rules over Babylon the Great, which is modern day Egypt. Okay. Modern day Sodom and Gomorrah, modern day Babylon. All right. Babylon the Great. In fact, and this man rules over all the provinces of America. And guess what? He refuses to let us go. All right. And he continues to afflict us to this very day. So the Lord is going to bring a severe darkness upon the land. But who is he going to use to do it? Well, he's going to use Esau Edom. All right. Which King David described as the sword of the Most High. All right. The so-called white man is the sword of the Most High. Okay. That's why you have the police set up that slay Jake indiscriminately. They were set up to be the sword of the Most High. So whenever our people go off, okay, the so-called white man is there to punish you. All right. And that's just one of many examples. You know what I'm saying? But this blackout that's coming, see, they're going to push a narrative that, oh, this is Russia. Oh, this is China. This is Iran, which, yes, these countries do have the capability to induce a blackout in America. But really, why would they need to? They already have troops in America. They already have troops here to invade and take America down from within. So this blackout that they're warning you of, that Joe Biden said, just the fact alone that Joe Biden warned of a dark winter. Well, why would he warn about that? Well, the only reason why he'd be able to warn you is if he knew about it, or they're going to be the ones to induce this blackout, this darkness. See? So we know how the devil get down. All right, let's continue.
Replacing it with building more capacity to generate electricity. In fact, we've been closing down a lot of the power plants that had useful life left in them, both gas plants and coal plants. And that means we're digging a deeper hole. We're trying to replace it somewhat with renewables, which have a role to play. But listen, wind doesn't blow 24 hours a day. Sun doesn't shine 24 hours a day. You need to make sure you have that always available generating capacity during these peak moments. And that's really the danger we see coming into this winter is demand's growing, supply hasn't kept up.
Jim, the report exposes a system built, as you mentioned, high demand during summer heat. Let's talk about what has to happen in order for the grid to function effectively through increasingly severe winter weather.
Well, there's a couple of things. One is in the winter, compared to summer peak and winter peak, there's a lot more need for natural gas to heat homes. And natural gas is an important part of how we make electricity in this country. So in the summer, plenty of gas to make electricity. In the winter, not so much. And the pipelines are constrained as well. So we need to increase our pipeline capacity to deliver more natural gas during these peak winter months. We also got to make sure these extreme cold situations that the equipment is, for lack of a better term, insulated or weatherized so it can handle those operations in the cold.
And remember what happened in Texas a few years ago, right? When it was during the wintertime and the power went out in Texas and many people died from that cold snap. It was real cold. I think it was like negative. I think it was negative degrees, or if it wasn't negative, it was the very it was in the tens. All right. But the point is, many people perished behind that. Okay. Just trying to keep warm because the power grid out there was out. You know, you couldn't plug in a heater to keep warm. A lot of people out there in Texas, they don't have firewood like that because it doesn't get that cold. But that 1 year, it was even reports of people dying inside their cars, trying to turn on the heat to keep warm. You know what I'm saying? People actually died inside their cars in their garages. So Esau, Edom, he will do certain things in parts of the country as a test to see how this thing would go on a larger scale nationwide. See, so these the scriptures tell you that he is wiser than Daniel. All right. And he plans out his diabolical schemes very wisely. All right. Because they keep that counsel with the spiritual being Satan. You see. So all what this man is about to bring on the earth, all this hell, okay, is being induced by the wicked, the sword of the Most High. Now, the elect of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, all right, they're going to be good. They're not going to have nothing to worry about. The Lord going to keep them. You see, but the rest of these wicked people that have a proud spirit, you know, and they refuse to repent. They speak blasphemies against Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. They trust in their riches. Well, the scriptures say their riches profited not in the day of destruction. So when these people's destruction come like a thief in the night, they're going to seek for their, $200,000 house. You know, they're going to seek to take refuge in their Porsche. But guess what? It's not going to do them no good. OK, they still going to get done in. All right. This is why the hopefully elect of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, we have a mindset inclined towards the Lord, because we understand that Yahweh Shai, the only one that can save us, man. Okay, nothing in this world. Okay, no man is going to come to your aid, man. Okay, it's only the Lord that's going to keep you from the said evils that's going to come upon the earth and destroy many. All right. So regulators from the North American Electricity Reliability Corporation are warning more than half of Americans are at risk of blackouts in the winter months. Jim Matheson, the CEO of the National Rural Electric Cooperative Association, joins CBS News with a look at how the rapidly rising energy demand could lead to more blackouts. So, hey, man, the devil will tell you already that more than half, okay, which that's a very vague number. Okay, really, they should say the majority of Americans are going to be affected by this. And once again, this is why they put them satellite phones into the hands of these government leaders. Okay, because, you know, they're going to need to make certain calls when all this goes down. They understand there's going to be mass civil unrest. Okay, people are going to riot. Okay, and again, you have all these migrants in America. They need resources. They need shelter. Well, what's going to happen when this blackout occurs? Okay, people are going to go mad. All right, it's going to be all kind of anarchy in the streets, and there's going to be a need for order. You see, even the internet is going to get shut down. You see, what's going to happen when the internet does come back on? Well, it's going to be heavily regulated. It's going to be heavily, censored. Okay, to the point where they're going to say, okay, yeah, now in order to access the internet, you're going to need to have a digital ID. Okay, in order to, get on these certain platforms. Okay, you have to have a micro CHIP. All right. And, we're going to need to scan your, eyeballs. OK, to make sure that you're a part of this system. And eventually, we know that's going to lead into the MOTB. So these devil's motto, order ab chaos, order out of chaos, is in full effect. And see, we continue to tell you, starting with the elders and apostles, that what's coming upon the earth, it ain't going to be nothing nice. All right. And if you love your life in this world and you're going to seek to save it, then guess what? You're going to lose it anyway. All right. Because you're going to be taken in a snare that is set up for you by Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Moving on here. State of emergency enacted in Iceland. Volcanic eruption near Reykjavik. Okay, now, one of the things that the Lord said we would see in the last days in Matthew 24. All right, earthquakes in diverse places. Okay, so you're seeing many different earthquakes, volcanic eruptions occur in many different places around the earth. Okay, so getting into this, volcanic activity is rapidly increasing across Europe, causing widespread concern. A state of emergency has recently been declared in Iceland, and threatened locales are being evacuated. There is growing unease in Italy over the escalating activity of some of the country's most notable volcanic hills. The Fog Jaws, I don't know I can't pronounce that, volcano has been posing the biggest challenge. With constant rumbling since mid-October, it has been stirring a significant level of anxiety amongst local residents. Authorities have taken action to evacuate the city of Grindavik and declare a state of emergency in the region. While Icelandic officials are keen to assert that this is a standard procedure, memories of the communication disruption following the eruption of, I can't pronounce that either, volcano are still fresh in people's minds. The direction of the expected eruption of whatever that word remains uncertain. Okay, now what do the scriptures say would happen in the latter times? 2nd Ezra chapter 16, and we'll jump down to 17. Woe is me. Okay, woe means destruction. Okay, so the prophet Ezra is being shown this vision, and he's seeing all of the events taking place in the last days. And when he's seeing these things, just like all the prophets saw, he's saying, woe is me, destruction unto me. Woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? The beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the powers shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? Verse 19. Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. Now let's get into that word scourge. What do the word scourge go into? Okay, scourge definition: a whip used as an instrument of punishment. Now, in this case, what is the whip that is being used to punish? The plagues of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. Earthquakes, strong storms, volcanoes erupting, disease, pestilence. All right, lack of food, famine, people bugging out, losing their minds. These are the plagues used as an instrument of punishment. To punish who? To punish the wicked. Okay, it speaks about in Ecclesiasticus 39, spirits created for vengeance. And as a matter of fact, I'll go there real quick since I'm on that point. Ecclesiasticus. Bear with me one moment. Okay, because people are not paying attention, man. All this judgment happening around the planet Earth, and nobody is paying attention to these things. But this is why sudden destruction is going to come. All right. Check this out. Ecclesiasticus chapter 39 and verse 27. All these things are for good to the godly, so the sinners, they are turned into evil. 28. There be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. In the time of destruction, they pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made them, which is who? Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. Fire and hell and famine and death. All these were created for vengeance. So when you see, a state of emergency be declared in Iceland, a state of emergency be declared on the West Coast because fires are raging all over the place. What do the scriptures say? Fire and hell, famine and death. All these things include death. And they were created for what? For vengeance. You see that? Teeth of wild beasts, scorpions, serpents, and the sword, punishing the righteous punishing those that love the Most High, punishing those that love righteousness, that keep the laws of the Most High, punishing those that serve Yahweh Shai. No, punishing the wicked to destruction. You see that? So all these things, all these judgments are reserved for the wicked, man. Going back, let me go back to 2nd Ezra, right? Going back, it says, are sent as scourges for amendment. To amend what? To amend, okay, and an amendment is what? Let's go into that word amendment, okay? We know what it is, but for the sake of edification, okay, amendment definition: a minor change or addition designed to improve a text piece of legislation. All right. So in this case, it's a minor change or addition. Okay. In this case, it's a major change. Okay, because these judgments, these are major judgments, man. Okay, these judgments are destroying whole countries. Okay, these judgments are destroying people's minds, taking them out their comfort. But these things are sent to correct people's wickedness, really to get you to repent. But of course, the scriptures say, as it is written, that evil men shall wax worse and worse. Okay, so a lot of these, majority of the people on this earth, they're only going to wax worse. Okay, they're not going to be in a repentant spirit to turn away so that they don't receive of these plagues. See, they're going to continue on until they are destroyed. And it says here in verse 20, but for all these things, they shall not turn from their wickedness. You see that? So even though famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are upon the earth, people are not going to turn from their wickedness. They're going to increase in their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges, which means what? They're not paying attention. They're not looking for the judgments. Okay. They're not considering what time that we in. Okay. Paul said, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you. Now, why would Paul say that? Because we should know, looking at the signs of the times, knowing what time it is, so that we, nobody needs to tell us that we in the last days, right? Nobody needs to tell us that. We can see for ourselves that we're in the last days. We can see for ourselves that time is short. But these wicked people, they can't see it because they've been blinded. Okay, the Lord has blinded their understanding because they're reprobate. You see? Verse 21, behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon earth, that they shall think themselves to be in good case, and even then shall evils grow upon earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. And hey, we seeing all these things. Okay, we're seeing the sword increase. Okay, wars all over the place. And Yahoo talking about we not backing down. This is the time for war. Iran rising up, the kings of the East, China, Russia, India, Pakistan, Iran, Iraq, Afghanistan. Okay, they all rising up against the West. Okay, the sword is increasing. Famine. Okay, famine is being prepared. When this blackout comes, guess what? It's going to be a famine. Because all of the food that's in these grocery markets, they're going to spoil. Okay, then you're going to have people run to these storehouses and try to get as much food out as they can to salvage themselves, right? And let's get that real quick. Let's go there. 2nd Ezra chapter 6. Okay, it says that suddenly the full storehouses shall be found empty, right? Verse 6 in Salakia, that's 9. Salakia, bear with me one moment. 2nd Ezra 9 and 6. Okay. For all that is made in the world. Hold on. Salakia. No, wait, hold on. Bear with me one moment. I think it is in 6. It has to be in 6. 6. Salakia, let me search this. Full storehouses. Thought it was in 6. Why is it? Shall be found empty. Oh wow. See that? Yeah. That's weird. For some reason, it's not popping up. But I'll get it. I just kind of wanted to get that point. Yeah, for Esau, the end of the world. You know what? It's all good. Cause yeah, we'll get back to it. I don't wanna get too off topic. But yeah, scriptures speak about the famine coming. Okay, victuals being cheap. You know, people think themselves to be in good case because these full storehouses are found empty. But it's gonna come a point to where when the power goes out, people gonna realize, hey, I need to get me some food. I need to, hey man, it's gonna be mass runs on these storehouses, man. And as the scriptures say, even though I can't find it right now, that the full storehouses shall be found empty. You see, so we're coming into a time that's never been seen before and shall never be seen again, man. All hell about to break loose. You see, and these evils are only going to grow. Let's go here. Likelihood of volcanic eruption in Iceland remains high after hundreds of earthquakes. So hundreds of earthquakes have occurred. Really, matter of fact, there's thousands of earthquakes going off across the earth right now. Okay, and as we get closer to the end, each and every day that goes by, they're intensifying. Okay, which these are the birth pains. Let me jump down to verse 2 Ezra 16. In verse 37, behold, the plagues draw nigh and are not slack, as when a woman with child in the 9th month bringeth forth her son with 2 or 3 hours of her birth. Great pains compass her womb, which pains when the child cometh forth, they slack not a moment. Even so shall not the plagues be slack to come upon the earth, and the world shall mourn, and sorrows shall come upon it on every side. O my people, hear my word, make you ready for thy battle, and in those evils be even as pilgrims upon the earth. Okay, so just like a woman, she's having a child, and the more, the closer that she gets to having that child, the pains increase until the child is delivered. Well, you're seeing the same thing on the earth. Okay, the pains, the plagues are increasing. Okay, that's why you're seeing more earthquakes. You're seeing more wild weather. Okay, you're even seeing people's wickedness increase more. Why? Because this world is coming to an end, and the end is manifest through the signs of the times. Okay, which all these things include the signs of the times. Okay, so they're saying, thousands of people have been evacuated from Grindavik out of fear of the eruption. So now they talking about a volcano is highly likely to go off in Iceland. The volcanic eruption remains high after more than 700 earthquakes were recorded since midnight Tuesday, and the country remains in a state of emergency. The largest one was a 3.8. Okay. So, hey, man, the Lord bringing that judgment, you know what I'm saying? The Lord jacking his place up. And, hey, man, it's time for the heathen to be judged. The time of the Gentiles is coming to an end. You see, because at this point, the truth is going forth. The identity of the true Israelites has been revealed. The wicked, okay, which is Esau, Edom, has been revealed. All right. The identity of the other nations have been revealed through the mouth of the prophets. Okay, so now the only thing left is to destroy this place, and this is what you're seeing. All right. So hey, we hasten, the day of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua to bring that judgment. Okay, and that sorrow is being felt right now. Okay, so much so to the point where we actually have people that are cursing the Most High because their lives, their comfort is coming to an end. Okay, the world as they know it is being destroyed right before their very eyes. And call Halal Yahweh Bashem Yahushua that He has preserved a remnant. All right, that He has preserved a remnant in these last days to bring forth the truth and to usher in the end of this kingdom, and to herald in the beginning of the new. Okay, a planet which dwells in righteousness. Okay, where there will be no more wars. Okay, there will be no more pain. You see, the Lord's people can finally dwell in peace and rule over them that have oppressed us. All right, this is what is coming. This is what is happening right before your very eyes in the earth. All right. Bear with me 1 second. Yeah, man, the end of all things is manifest. That's Salakia. Let me go here. Okay. It was actually verse 22. 2nd Ezra 6. Okay. 2nd Ezra 6 and 22. And suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown. Okay, so all the places where you see farms, okay, where you see these supermarkets, they stocked up, they got surplus in the back. Okay, you can go there, you can get steaks, you can get, juices and, whatever you want, fruits and all that, right? It says, and suddenly, okay, so all of a sudden, and shall the sown places appear unsown. It's going to be because of a famine. And it's also because, when people realize that resources are scarce, okay, they're going to make an effort to seize these certain resources and hoard them unto themselves, okay, which is going to cause a lot of death in that process. The full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. All right, so I wanted to bring that out. Okay. Aftershocks can last for centuries after historic earthquakes, you see, and the Most High is terrible in his dealing towards the heathen. Okay, earlier this year we saw what? An earthquake that happened in the country of Turkey, which killed, deleted more than 50,000 people. Okay, more than 50,000. Look, that was a mass judgment, man. You see, and trust and believe that them people out there in Turkey, they understand that was a judgment from who they would refer to as Allah, okay, or God, okay. They understand that, and this is why even to this day, them people over there are still in fear. Okay, they still, fear that another earthquake could go off. Okay, people are still afraid to go back into their houses, man. All right, so the Lord, you see, this is why the Lord needs to be feared, man, because this is what He can do to you. And you can see that the Lord is jacking these nations up. Their world is coming to an end. You see, we don't have to get into this, but it's just you're basically what's gonna happen is you're gonna see a lot more of this, okay, and it's gonna become regular, right? You had the one in Turkey that got over 50,000 people. Then you had the one in was it in Libya? I believe it was in Libya that took out over 10,000 people. Then you had another one in Afghanistan. They got over 5,000. So you seeing these things increase. Then you having one in Iceland. You saying you having them go off in Russia, all across Europe. You see. So hey man, the Lord is to be feared. Because this is what He can do to you. The Lord can bring sore calamities upon you and destroy you harshly. All right, so I'll go ahead and end this lesson here. Hopefully it was edifying through the Rakah Kadash. In closing, call halal, Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakah Kadash. And until next time, Shalom to the elect.